Today's show is brought to you by State Farm agent Ryan McDevitt. Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, save an average of $889. State Farm agent Ryan McDevitt is ready to help you combine home and auto and save in Chicago and the surrounding suburbs. Call Brian today at 630-796-2662. That's 630-796-2662. Or visit his website, ryanismyagent.com. That's ryanismyagent.com, and make sure to mention Sports Talk Chicago. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. I want to start today with this. I find it so comical that people actually believe, my audience, part of my audience at least, that I don't support Justin Fields. Apparently, I've said on air that he's a bust, even though I haven't. And everybody points me back to the time I said the Bears shouldn't move up to get him. Yes, because I was worried they'd give up too much draft capital. Do we not remember Mitch Trubisky? Do we not remember who Ryan Pace is? It would have been a disaster if they gave up any more than they did for Justin Fields. I thought they gave up the right amount, a bit too much, but better than what it could have been. That was my concern with moving up. It had nothing to do with the talent of the player. And yes, I have every right to be skeptical. That too. And the fact that no one else is and is just accepting this and saying it's okay, it'll be fine, that's delusion. I'm not saying he's a bust when I say we don't know what he's capable of. That's a factual statement. It is completely factual to say I have no clue what he'll do in the NFL with the Bears. No one here can predict the future. As much as you like the idea of Fields and think, oh, next Mahomes, 40 touchdowns, running all over the field, we don't know if that's going to happen. And it's irresponsible to claim now, in May, he'll do it. Sometimes there's just no winning. And sometimes the truth doesn't want to be heard. I understand that. People want to be caught up in the delusion. Say, oh, he's going to be great. He's our savior. Move on. No one knows anything. And here's the best part. Best part of all of this. I've had many guests on the program. People who know much more about football than I ever will. They've forgotten more football than I even know. They've all said the same thing. Sit and wait. Sit and wait. We don't know what he's capable of. Let him sit and wait. Randy Mueller, 2000 NFL Executive of the Year. Formerly Ryan Pace's boss. Ryan Pace was an intern in New Orleans when he was the GM. What did he say? Wait. He said, wait till the bye week. See where you are as a team. If you want to make a playoff run, then put in Fields. He said, if you're sitting around 500 and Andy Dalton isn't doing it and you want to make the playoffs, make the switch then. Talk to Jeff Joniak. YouTube audience will see it tomorrow. Radio audience has heard it already, and they'll hear it again today. When I asked Jeff Joniak what they should do, he said the following: I trust the plan. I do too. I trust the plan. Joniak said, this is not a new toy that everyone wants to play with and be rough with. No, it's a human being quarterback. This isn't the new Nerf gun. This isn't a new car. It's a human quarterback who has feelings and emotions and has a mental state. if you rush him out there and he's not ready, mentally, physically, whatever it might be, you'll scar him for life. See, people forget that. Everyone just says he's better than Mitch. Yes, sure he is, for sure. But there are a lot of quarterbacks better than Mitch, young ones, who've not performed because they were rushed out to the field. Sam Darnold had the potential to be better than Mitch, rushed out onto the field. Now he's in Carolina. Everyone says he's going to get better. I don't see it. I think it'll be the same old song and dance because he's broken. I mean, come on. Do you think Sam Darnold is a good quarterback? With a passer rating of 84, you could say no weapons, okay. But you could control interceptions as a quarterback. You're going to go to Carolina, a team that couldn't win last year with Teddy Bridgewater. You're going to go there and win and tear it up? I don't think so. Look at Tua Tagovailoa. Tua was supposed to be a good quarterback. Now, you could blame injuries and say didn't work out, but the fact of the matter is, was not brought up right. Was rushed, not given full opportunities, no one around him. And he's on the downturn right now. They're actually treating him just like they treated Mitch. I mean, there were times last year in which Tua started, then times later in the year in which they just pulled him for no reason, put in Ryan Fitzpatrick. How do you think that affects a quarterback's mind? Tua should have sat all of last year, realistically. In an ideal world, should have sat, should have never played, and everything would have been okay. Instead, you trot him out there, then you take him out, then you put him back in, then take him out again. And this back and forth, this dance between head coach Brian Flores, Tua, Ryan Fitzpatrick, their general manager. The only negativity that's going to be there is for Tua. Tua eventually, and he probably already has been scarred because of that experience. It's not going to get any better unless he turns around this year and throws 30, 40 touchdowns. Then he'll forget about it. I don't see that happening. Don't have enough weapons. We all need to understand this. Let's look at other examples around the league, not just say, well, it's the Bears, whatever. Put them in. No. We all know about Tua, Sam Darnold. There are others, too. We all know about this stuff. Why is there an exception for Justin Fields? I get it. Big Ten, Ohio State. No. He's better than Mitch. He has more athleticism. Great. That's great. I agree. But how do you think he's going to do if he's rushed? Seriously. Will he perform? You know, I see so many YouTubers, like me, and radio hosts, who claim the best course of action is to start him week 1. My audience knows that's wrong. Not from me, from my guests. Jay Cutler even said, don't start him week 1. See, it's so funny. There's a disconnect. Industry professionals who know much more about the game than even me say don't start in week 1. Yet we have all these bloggers and YouTubers and radio hosts like myself, people in my world, say start him right away. Let me think. Who's right? The ex-player, ex-GM who, developed quarterbacks for a living? Or some guy yelling and screaming that Fields should start right away, who's never been a part of the game? You don't want to hear it, I know. I know you want me to come up here and wear a Bears jersey and say they're back, woohoo, and celebrate, but that's not necessarily the case. This is going to be a very serious training camp. Remember last year when the whole Nick Foles, Mitch Trubisky thing was going on? It's going to be the same this year. People don't understand that yet. It is going to be intense. There's going to be so many talks about it, back and forth. Huge dialogue. This is just the beginning. If you're already sick of wondering who's going to start week 1 and even moving forward, brace yourself. Because no one will be happy until Justin Fields starts again. So we could be in week 5 of the season. Andy Dalton starting. They're 3-2. And there will be active calls from everybody to put in Fields right away. This is all just beginning. And the best part is, people who are involved in the NFL, who've been GMs, been players, broadcasters for years upon years, decades, generations, they've all said what needs to happen. Yet nobody wants to listen. I echo those sentiments. And I'm being told that I think Fields is a bust. Okay. So I think he's a bust by wanting him to wait. And by what I've been told from people inside the NFL, guests, but I think he's a bust. See that? Does anyone else see the disconnect here? You know, this is not going to be good for Bears fans. I'm telling you right now, we saw how divisive the Mitch Trubisky, Nick Foles saga was. And for those of you who know me, you know where I stand on that entire thing. It was divisive, and I still get comments about that today. Fine. I get it. But imagine how this will go. New fresh quarterback who does deserve to sit, should sit according to every expert, versus the media and independent people who think he should start right away. And if he doesn't, it's a disservice to the Bears and to Fields and to the fan base. Just remember where I stood on all this. Do yourself a favor, if you're a new subscriber, if you've watched me for a long time, listen to me on the radio. Always remember where I've stood. I've told you from day one. I was worried about draft capital. That's why I didn't want Fields. The Bears got him. Didn't give up too much. Now, everyone's saying start him game 1. I don't think so. That's not just my opinion. That's the opinion of people in the game. Not just some independent guy doing a radio show. No, that's everybody. That's GMs, broadcasters, former players. Wait. That's what they're saying. Wait. It just makes more sense to trust the people who know more. That's what I'm doing. I'd rather trust the people who know more than me. And I'd rather trust myself. I've watched football. I know quarterbacks in the game today who've been screwed because they've been rushed in too early. Because their teams needed a spark, quote unquote, and put them in with no weapons, no help, no nothing. And they were scarred for life. Hell, the offensive line, question mark there. What, do you want to put in Fields with a questionable offensive line? Come on. Oh, but he's talented. Sure he is. He is. But do you want that scarring him in his first year in the NFL? No. Why do you think Andy Dalton's here? He's the one they're experimenting with. They're going to put him in and see. Does the offensive line work or no? Why would you experiment with your brand new franchise quarterback? Why would you throw him to the wolves? Oh, he's not mentally tough enough. No, that's not it. It's called common sense. If you get a new car, are you going to drive it right into the water and say, let's see if it floats? No! You're going to drive it around on some streets, then go to the highways, then take it on a cross-country trip. It's gradual. You don't want to ruin it or break it right away. Same thing here. You don't want to ruin the guy, break the guy, when you just drafted him and you moved up to get him again too. Experts agree with that assessment. It's not just coming from me, not just spewing nonsense. These are experts. These are former GMs, broadcasters, players. Why wouldn't we listen to them? Wouldn't they know more than me or you? Anybody? I haven't been employed by an NFL team. I haven't played in the NFL. I'm going to trust the guys who have. They know much more. They know much better than I do. So for anybody you know who says start him game one or says, I know the guy I listen to says start him game one, listen to the coaches and the players and the real people who've been around the game. Not someone looking for a hot tank. That's a life lesson. And I'm not saying come here to me, I'm saying in general. Whomever you listen to. That's a life lesson. Listen to people who know more than you. That's what I'm doing. For those of you who listen on the radio, watch me on YouTube. You see the guests I have on, there's a reason why. They know more than me. I want to be informed. I want to know what's the truth, what's going on. Same concept here. I know everybody is quarterback starved. Everyone wants him to come in and play and be the savior. I know. I get it. Believe me. It's not time yet. It really isn't. There's no need to rush him. Jeff Joniak said it best. Trust the plan. I am trusting the plan. And it's hard for me to do that. Hard for me to trust Matt Nagy, but I want to wait and see how this plays out. I know for a fact, no matter what, he should not start game one against Los Angeles, in Los Angeles, as a rookie, facing Aaron Donald. With the questionable O-line. That makes no sense to do. It doesn't. I don't care how great he does in camp. Do you really think that's an environment for him to succeed? Aaron Donald, questionable O-line, in Los Angeles, prime time, game one. That could scar him for life. That could break him right away. Why? There's no need to. The Bears aren't winning this year, and if they do, that's unbelievable. They weren't expected to win. See, before the Justin Fields pick, everybody said, this team's going 4-13. They're not winning anything. No one expected them to. The expectations don't change when you bring in a franchise quarterback who isn't ready yet. Look at the 49ers. They still are starting Jimmy Garoppolo. They're sitting Trey Lance. When they drafted Trey Lance, no one said, wow, now they're going to win many more games and Lance will start. No, they're sitting him. And they're sticking with the guy they have for now. Same with the Bears. Drafted a new quarterback, sticking with the same guy. Nothing really should change. Now, if we're talking about the year after this one, 2022, yes, there should be good expectations around this team. I would say at least a 10-7 record. This year, I'm thinking more 7-10. There is no need to rush things. Do it the right way. And remember, that's not just me talking. That's not my crazed opinion. That's the opinion of people in the game. No need to rush Fields. It is unnecessary and completely unacceptable. Do this the right way. You want a franchise quarterback, right? Well, you have to develop him. Like the stock market. Everyone right now looking for a quick buck. The people who are smart when it comes to the stock market are in it for the long game. They're not looking to make $1,000 or strike it rich in 2 days. No. You put your money in a good stock, Apple, Google, Amazon, and you let it sit for 15, 20 years. Then you make your money. Same concept. Can't go all in on Fields for a quick buck. What you have to do is go all in on him for the long term, 15 years. That's how it's going to work. So if I were you, don't get too riled up. Calm down your expectations just a bit. I believe in Fields, but I do believe he needs to be developed. And I don't think it's beneficial to start him game one, throw him to the Wolves, and let him fend for himself. He's an investment. He's a franchise quarterback. Let it be that way. Don't rush him for no reason. More to come here on Sports Talk Chicago. My interview with Jeff Joniak comes up next, so stay tuned. Hey, do you want to make some money this weekend? What if I told you I could offer you $250 free to bet on any game you want? Here's what you have to do. Go to sportstalkchicago.com/cash. sportstalkchicago.com/cash. Must be 21 plus, must be an Illinois resident. You can bet $250 free on any game you want for this upcoming weekend. NBA playoffs going strong. Cubs and White Sox are going, and the NHL playoffs, plus, of course, Bears prop bets. See, if I were you, I'd bet Justin Fields starts 0 games. I don't know. Maybe. Will the Bears win week 1? That's already out. You can already bet on all of this stuff. It's a great time to put down some money and win a whole lot more back. At sportstalkchicago.com/cash. sportstalkchicago.com/cash. You have a gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.